All right, we are streaming live. Awesome. So, folks, we just
I've just been asked to give permission, so I'm giving
very
permission.
good,
Yeah.
very good. So let me stop this. Okay. So I just realized my fallibility here, and we have been going for 30 minutes or so on live on the live cast, and I was recording it, but not broadcasting it to Facebook. So now we're here. We're going to do a quick little recap of what we've been talking about, and then we'll post the recording when we get off of here so that you'll have that recording you can go to as well. So we have been chatting about some really important things. Barb talked to us a little bit about the class that she's doing on on avatars, on your ideal client. And we discussed what that meant. And there's some really good nuggets. I want you to go back and listen to that first half hour because there's some really good nuggets there. And then we've been talking about leadership and how all of this plays in and our why and why it's so important to know our why and what that is. I'm telling you, there's some wonderful nuggets in that first half hour. So Brenda,
not the least of which was what Brenda brought up, that when we have ups and downs in our business, and when we have a down, we can use that time productively.
Yeah. Absolutely. That was a beautiful piece. And then also Brenda was just talking in her why, she was talking about taking the time to figure out what your purpose is. And I think that's so important. And it's so important that we actually have a class in here on it. One of the sessions is on understanding your purpose and your passion and combining that with your superpower.
Absolutely.
To be just the best you can be. And James Lamb from Canada and the founder of Look Ahead Marketing is going to be teaching that class. And James teaches classes on superpowers all the time, on knowing your superpowers. And he, tells the story of not understanding his own for some time and then taking that time to figure out what his own were. And now he is just such a champion of helping people understand that. So no, we're not handing out capes in that class so that, you can be Superwoman or Superman or super whatever, but you will go away understanding what your superpower is, or at least be on the path to make further discovery about it. And then how you fit your purpose and your passion in with that superpower to create a business that is so fulfilling that no matter the ups and downs we've just been talking about that are going to happen in your business, you stay motivated. You still get up at the same time every morning. You still show up at your desk at the same time every morning. You work as much as is needed to get the job done because this aligns with you. It's everything about you being brought into this one package, this business. And when I say everything about you, obviously we have our families and all of that, but it's everything that really drives you in terms of what you see as success in your life or can be. Any thoughts on that, ladies? You're combining that purpose, passion, and superpowers.
Go ahead, Brenda.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk because you started opening your mouth, Barbara.
Did I?
I was thinking.
We're being so polite. Well, I actually think that's a fantastic summary of 30 minutes because you've actually picked up and highlighted, Regina, all the key points. And really, one of the things I would want to highlight is that, as Regina just said, and I was talking about earlier, when you actually identify your why and you understand your why, and you really genuinely deeply understand your why, and you're embracing your passion, then actually being aligned with who you are and what you do it feels like it's natural because it becomes so easy because you're aligned. Effortless.
Yes.
It's effortless. It just flows like a river. Remember?
Yeah.
Before you don't push the river just flows. And that's what that is about. Yeah.
We were discussing earlier before we went live on Facebook a conversation that you had had with an employer
Oh, this
and
morning.
about employees. Yes. And about losing employees, about having that
Yes.
revolving door.
Yes. Yeah.
The people that he's losing
Yeah.
are not working for him, is not in alignment
Yeah.
with who they are.
Yeah.
And
They've discovered that.
they've discovered that.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you start your business in a way that's not aligned with who you are,
Mhm.
your business is going to fail because you're going to go out that revolving door. You're going to say, I'm fed up. I'm done. This isn't for me. I'm not meant to be an entrepreneur. I'm not meant to be a business owner. I'm going to go back and work for somebody else. I may be unhappy there, but at least, I'll have this paycheck. I'll have whatever. And that's why it's so critically important that you figure this out in the beginning. Who are you? What is your purpose? What is your passion? And what are your superpowers? What is it that you are so good at?
What
Yeah.
drives you? Yeah,
What drives you? And that you
what-
can build your business around that.
right.
And what makes you get up in the morning when your alarm goes, or if like some of us, you don't need an alarm, but when your eyes just open from sleep and you just leap out of bed and you are ready to face the world because you know what you're going to be working on is who you are. So it doesn't feel like a chore. I'm sure
Right.
all of you who are listening, you know at least one person who is working beyond so-called retirement age. And when they're asked by their family, well, why? Well, I think that goes.
Raise your hand,
That
Brenda.
saying, absolutely,
Retirement
with pleasure,
age.
with
Hey.
pleasure, with pleasure.
We passed that a few years ago.
Absolutely. And you see, people will say, but, and I have my nephews in particular, Auntie, why are you still working? And I say, well, because I enjoy it. Well, how can you enjoy work? And I say, because I enjoy what I'm doing. And there are people in their 80s, 90s. We have our own royal queen. There have been questions by different people. Why doesn't she abdicate? She's 95 now. She's not going to abdicate because she enjoys what she's doing. And
Right.
she knows that it's her purpose to be queen until she can no longer do it to the best of her abilities. And that's the difference. When you're actually working at a job merely because, as Barbara was saying, you look forward to the paycheck. Most times, 99.99999% is because you're not in alignment with what you do. If all you're doing is looking forward to the paycheck, you are not in alignment with what you do. When you're in alignment with what you do, actually you feel the paycheck as a bonus. Oh, it's so nice to get money for what I do. Isn't that lovely? You don't see it as, oh, this is so critical. I just need the money to pay my bills. Therefore, that's why I'm getting up in the morning, dragging myself there, dragging myself to do it. That is the difference. And what the other thing I wanted to share was really that the pandemic the world over has got people questioning their attitude to work. Most people, and I've just been looking again this morning because of the person that the business owner I was talking to afterwards, I thought to myself, let me just see what's going on in the world. And I picked up research that's just been done recently by the Chartered Institute of Employee and Development, and which actually says that a lot of people, as in they're saying up to 90% of the people that they who return their questionnaires, they've actually said they've not only reviewed their work, but they've actually reflected on what work means for them. And they've either left the so-called work, they've actually taken early retirement if they are still in their 50s. They've either actually, and most of them, surprisingly, I don't know. Anyway, most of them have said, if I am working, but I'm only doing 2 days per week, as opposed to doing hours that were matching 6 days per week. So I'm only doing 2 days per week because I actually, the other 4 days, the other whatever days, I want to enjoy life. I'm now seeing life as actually, I'm now seeing the work not as all consuming as it used to be. Before pandemic, work was the thing that was all consuming in terms of
Right.
my energy, in terms of my time, and all the rest of it. Several people have relocated from cities to the countryside so that they can actually, whatever work they're doing, they actually want to spend more time in nature, either growing their own food or actually just enjoying nature, walking, and just enjoying nature. Some have bought, what do you call them, mobile homes. And the reflection on the work, also people have said that I'd sooner, if I'm staying in what is called a job, and certainly the job I was doing before, or the company that I was working before, then if I'm only going to stay if they offer me a less responsible role, because I want to switch to that, because I do not want the same responsibility that I've had, because they are much too consuming and taking up of my energy. And I don't, and so somebody actually made me laugh because they said, so I'm gonna slog myself until I'm 50 or 60, depending on 60, most of them. Then they said, if I'm a man, men's average age or life is like 74. So they said, I'm lucky if I then survive another 10 years. So really it means that I've been on planet Earth for 74 years, but actually I've enjoyed real life only 11 of those years. How can that make sense? So they said, no, I am actually going to take a less responsible role where I know I can just do the minimum hours required for the job, what I'm actually just being paid for. When I leave the job, I leave work and I can actually get on with life. I can go fishing, I can go whatever. And the other thing I discovered was that and it was a high number, I can't remember, it'll come to me maybe was while we're still together, but it was a high number. But the number that I recall very clearly, because it shocked me, was that 50% of people said that their mental health had actually been adversely impacted by work. So much so that now they realize this, they are actually going to be demanding more well-being support for them from their employers.
Interesting.
50%.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's really high.
That is pretty high, isn't it?
So, philosophically here, we're at a crossroads, aren't we?
Yes.
In terms of we have to find the balance for in terms of being able to run companies effectively and supporting an active lifestyle for those who work for us in that time on their end. That's certainly, folks, something we're not going to solve today for you or even next week. No. Okay. but it's Regina, a good thing to look at.
I am smiling because the phrase you used, I didn't share it, but the phrase you used is exactly what the Chartered Institute also said. They said, planet Earth, we are actually at a crossroads. And they said that we are never going to go back in terms of the world of work to how things were. Oh, and the other thing, talking about
I agree.
They said that the people are demanding something like 80% of employees in this study across all small businesses and corporate businesses in the UK. They said that they want flexible working. 80%. And they actually, and when they were asked, what if your employer doesn't provide this? They said, therefore, I'll leave.
I won't work for them.
And I'll go and I'm working. But listen to this, the flexible working was that it's much more, it's broader than even the companies to date who've been offering it. And I know certainly when I was in corporate, we used to offer some flexible working, and it didn't go as far as this demand, which is location. They want it in terms of location. They also want it in terms of hours. They want it in terms of what is the third thing? Location. Is there three things? Location, hours.
Being able to work from home.
That was
Is that one of
yeah,
them?
working from home. Yes, working from home. Yeah. And the location was that they did not want, for companies that normally employees are required, and it's a demand that they travel around Europe or whatever. They make a lot of they do a lot of traveling, staying in hotels away from their families for far too long. They are now saying no, they are actually wanting that to be significantly reduced. And I don't know how many companies, and actually the institute, the CEO was actually being interviewed, actually said he doesn't feel that, from his knowledge of the world of work he doesn't feel that most companies are going to rise to that challenge, certainly in terms of all three.
I think it's going to be a challenge. So let's bring this back to this event and how this applies.
Yes, which is why I was looking at it. I thought it's got implications for that.
Absolutely. You know, as you start your own business, you're going to hire people at some point, you know, maybe not day one, but at some point along the way, depending upon the type of business that you're starting. You know, are you starting a business that you can start from your home? Are you starting a retail shop where you need people to, you know, so that's going to make that determination. But
you're teaching a workshop on that, aren't you, Regina?
I am.
Yeah, you are.
And I hadn't even thought about this angle of it, to be honest. But understanding the needs of those employees and how that's changing is going to impact how you successfully employ people in your organization and move forward.
That's why I was so keen to look to kind of, I made time to look through it all. I thought, this really does actually have serious implications for our event, because we need to enable people to at least start thinking about it as you set out on your journey. Be aware of it, you know, because as you both rightly say, at some point, you know, even if you don't think you got the resources, as in terms of you can't pay people, you actually need to be start thinking about employing at least one or two people sooner than you feel ready, because otherwise you're going to be working in your business for far too long. And my colleague Sherry is going to be talking about, you know, working on versus working in, because there are serious implications about that.
So that plus this class that I'm going to teach on knowing when to hire, how to hire. Do you hire internally? Do you outsource it? Is it a contractor? Can you hire somebody in the Philippines? You know, all of that kind of a thing. Understanding when and how to hire. That's going to be super important. And this piece comes beautifully into that. I'd like to go back for a moment, though, and ask another question around, we were talking about purpose and passion and superpowers in James's class. And two things. I want to mention that I'd be happy to make available to anybody who wants it. I have a free course it was a 5-day challenge that I did on discovering your purpose and passion. If anybody wants that, I'd be happy to share the link with that, and they can go take that challenge. It's it's now a self-directed challenge. The second thing is, when you're figuring that out, I think a very important element to look at is, how do you want to make a difference in the world? What difference do you want to make, and how can you do that? So that we're thinking beyond ourselves, right? And thinking to the impact that we can make. And those businesses that are most successful and have the most longevity are those that make an impact. What is the impact that you want to make in the world? What difference do you make? For me, I love being a part of the ripple effect. When I help somebody else go out and change the world, I get to be part of the ripple effect that they just created, you know, because they're tossing that rock in the water, the ripples go out, and the work that I did with them helped them be able to do that. And that's extremely gratifying to me, exciting and gratifying. So what is the difference you want to make in the world? And
that is what I also was referring to when I was talking about what stamp do you want to leave on planet Earth. exactly
Yes.
very much about what difference, because if all we do is that we're born and then we die, because we know those are the only two guaranteed things in life, really we've wasted a life, have we not?
Yeah.
We ought to, yes, to contribute to our communities,
Yeah.
contribute to our countries, contribute to the world at large.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And ripple effect is fantastic way of
Yeah.
thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that really gets me excited. Those
Yes.
you gals have heard me say before, but when I get off of a call with a client and find it so exciting what they're doing, those are the days that my energy is just so high, I just have to share it. And I will go find my husband wherever he is in the house and say, "Have I ever told you that I love what I do?" You think he's heard that more than once?
Maybe just a couple times.
And he
Maybe
gives
just a
you that
couple
look.
Oh yeah. So he knows I love what I do when I do that.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears for a moment here. I had the joy of interviewing Mary Nunnally this morning, who is going to be teaching one of our workshops. And so Mary's unable to make our schedule this week. So we got together at 6:30 this morning and did her interview. And I want to
Very
play
good.
that for us. But let me tell you a little bit first about Mary is an expert in the world of gamification and making learning exciting. That's Mary's expertise. Go ahead, Barb. What were you going to say?
I'm sure that a lot of our listeners don't understand what gamification is.
Yeah, and Mary's going to talk about it in the interview. But it's a lot of people think about gamification as oh, you win points for doing something, like taking a course is every time you complete a lesson, you earn some points or you earn a badge or something of that nature, or having a leaderboard in a contest where you track, who's sold the most, who's done the most, kind of a thing. But Mary does a lot more than that. And so she's actually going to be helping us with lead magnets. And she walks us through what lead magnets are and a little bit about hers. So everybody good with me sharing Mary's video?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please.
And let's hear from Mary. Oh, I think I need to change my sound.
Because are we not, but we need to be anticipating James Sanderson, are we not?
What time is James coming? I have not spoken with James, so.
Well, I have it here as 10:45, so I'm looking at my watch, which is
okay.
So it's
45 Eastern.
East. Or I don't know, whatever times I put down now.
Yeah, because it's now 10:54 Central, so it's 11:54 Eastern.
Right.
So he didn't make it in for whatever reason.
I didn't actually remind him.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get hold of him.
Okay, while you do that, I'm going to go ahead. Mary's interview is about 20 minutes, so we'll listen to Mary's interview unless you think he would be ready right now, Brenda.
No, well, let me check.
Okay, so we'll chat for another moment or so here while we find out, folks.
Yes,
we certainly don't want to miss James. James and Brenda are doing a workshop together in the event, and it let me go.
This is called rolling with the punches.
It's called, yeah.
I love that. Oh, Barbara, you're on the ball today, Barbara. I love that. How to create the life freedom to live the life you desire.
That's it. How to create freedom to
live the life you desire.
Live the life you desire. Awesome. Well,
that you were born to live.
Indeed.
Yes. So they are going to be teaching, Brenda and James are going to be co-teaching that workshop. And so let's find out if James can join us right now. We'll hear from James and then we will play Mary's video.
I've just realized something. I don't think I sent him the Livecast. He's only got my my Zoom room. So I need to send him the
Oh,
live
yeah,
class
you'll need to
link.
send him that link.
Where do I find it?
I sent it.
Oh yeah, I got it.
You got it? Okay, good deal.
Oh, hold on.
Now, if he hasn't registered yet, he'll need to use the registration link. Let me put it in the, let me put
Are
it,
you?
Chat.
No. Can you send it to me? WhatsApp, please.
sure.
I can just forward to him. Is
Yep.
that all right?
Yep. There you go.
Thank you. Got it. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And that'll give him the registration process. See, folks, it's all live. We are live and taking life as it comes.
Rolling with the punches.
That's why we call it a live cast. So we appreciate you bearing with us. So Barb, as you've looked, while Brenda's doing that, as you've looked at the agenda of the list of all the classes and everything that's coming up, aside from your own, which class are you most excited about?
Well,
You know.
You're putting her on the spot.
I am. Again, this is called live.
Exactly.
I'm just
Here, I can share my screen with you, showing you what classes are there.
okay. That's what I was looking for.
Okay, give me 1 second here. And
They're all so interesting. It's hard to choose just one.
yes,
And they're all so critical to
exactly.
having that really firm foundation to start your business off. It's hard to choose just one.
Okay, I've got to make a change before
I
I can
agree.
share my screen. So let me do this.
I agree. It's having a rounded picture, isn't it? Really.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you just have certain aspects and you don't have others, then you're going to
That's
be
right.
that weakness is going to trip you up.
So here we see our event. So day one, we have Sheena Kantar talking about self-image. Who do you think you are? How are you going to brand yourself? We talked a little bit about that yesterday. We'll talk about it more this week. Then James and Brenda on how to create the freedom to live the life you desire. Lisa Dodd is going to talk about your soul language and the growth potential hiding inside your comfort zone. We met Emily Schul yesterday. We interviewed her yesterday. She's going to be talking about your relationship with money.
And
So this is not about
incredibly important.
Oh, absolutely. This is about the emotional aspects of money, not about how you track money, but about what your relationship with money actually is, whether it's good or bad, or whether it needs a little adjusting, as many of us do. Then you're going to have time to work on your plan. Okay, so we're so excited about that time. And we're going to have some networking, some breakout sessions with vendors and sponsors. Then day two, we have that class we were just talking about with James Lamb, combining your superpower with your purpose and passion. Bob Reish is going to be talking about identifying your vision, your mission, and the name of your business, and how important all three of those are, and helping you with that. We've got another breakout session. Then our very own Brenda is going to be teaching about how you prep for how to quit your job. And we have Barbara Ellison joining us now. Barb Sayers is then doing that ideal client session we've been talking about this morning. Then we have another breakout session. Mitchell Levy, who is the credibility expert, he's going to talk about your CPOP, your customer point of pain, and identifying that. Welcome, Barb. We're glad to have you here. We're just, and so our question
You're muted, Barb.
That we're working on answering at the moment, Barb, is what Barbara Sayers, what she's looking forward to the most. So we're reviewing the agenda to kind of see what her, what class is she looking forward to the most outside of her own. Cherry Ann Carew, who is a great coach with new businesses, she's going to be talking about nailing your profitable offer. And then I'm going to help you figure out how you're unique in the market, what makes you stand out in the marketplace. Then we've got, again, time to work on your business, and we've got a breakout session. And then the next day, Brenda mentioned a moment ago, Sherry Knight is going to be teaching about time management in conjunction with working on your business instead of in your business. Oops, it says this title to be adjusted. It was adjusted. James Lamb and I are going to come together and we're going to talk about strategies and tactics and how you'll generate leads and revenue for your business. And then we have social media promotions and digital marketing, marketing on a budget, virtual billboards or lead magnets. And that's what Mary Nudley is going to talk about. We're going to play her interview here in a moment. And again, time to work on your plan. And then I'm going to teach a class on creating and accelerating profit. And then we have breakout sessions again to network with other attendees and the teachers and sponsors and vendors, that kind of a thing. Then James and I are going to come back together, and after you've taken all of this information that you got in day 3, we're going to have you come back then and figure out your overall marketing strategy and what tactics you're going to use. So we've given you a whole bunch of information on day 3. On day 4, we're going to put that together. And Jason Tracy's going to come in and talk about your sales strategy and tactics and how you make your product, how you will market your product or service. Then we're going to get into that personnel class that we talked about a little bit ago. You know, what's your strategy for adding personnel, for qualifying them and managing them. Michael Mann, a financial advisor, is going to talk about managing your finances and your taxes to create a positive financial future. Very important class. Again, we're going to give you time to work on your plan. We're going to have a networking session, and then we're going to do the wrap up. And then we come back on Saturday for just a couple of hours. We're going to debrief on the summit. We're going to have some networking, talking about the takeaways from that. Brenda's going to teach her Your Health is Your Wealth class. And then we're also going to give away the prize, announce the winner of the contest, and give away that. It's now over $34,000 prize. We had another $1,000 prize donated to it this morning. Yes. So it's growing, folks. My goal is that it's going to be at 50,000 or more by the end of next week when we give it away. So you want to be in on that contest. There are amazing things in there. And then we hope to have as many of the speakers as possible come back and do a panel discussion and Q&A on entrepreneurial landmines. What are some of the things we may have missed in the classes and questions that you have? So I'm so excited about this. So Barb, getting back to Barb Sayers, what's the class that you are most excited about outside of your own?
Well, I think I would choose 2. One is the your relationship with money.
Okay.
And the other is your overall marketing strategy and tactics.
Ah, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both critically important.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because
Well,
a lot of us get started not knowing the difference between strategies and tactics.
Yeah.
And even more of us get started not realizing we need them.
Yes. And how they are interconnected,
Yeah.
how
Yes,
one
yes.
drives the other and one creates the results for the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And when I
absolutely.
talk about a lot of us get started, I'm talking from personal experience.
oh,
guys.
absolutely.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Can I just say though, before we get too far, we don't want to upset anybody else. That's Barbara's choice of her top 2.
Right.
But all the workshops are equally important.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
And
That's why I
all
said it's
the-
hard to choose.
Of course,
Yeah.
and all the workshops, actually, when you're setting out on your journey, the reason why Regina and I spent 9 months exploring this whole topic, we wanted to actually identify the elements that actually are key on setting out as a new entrepreneur. As you are starting that journey, what is it that you need in your toolkit? As
Yes.
part of your toolkit, as part of your resources. So we don't, we don't want you to kind of like think, well, if I just attend the money one,
Yeah,
then I'm
no,
fine. If
not
I
at
can-
all.
No, absolutely
No,
not.
no.
If I can add to that, Brenda, each one of us is going to have a different one that excites us based on where
Yes.
we're at in our level of growth.
Of course.
And so I'd like to hear from Brenda and Barb Ellison as well. which class excites you the most? Which one do are you really looking forward to? Because they're all, I mean, it's really hard to choose. These are all going to be amazing, but it depends on where you are in your own growth and in your own business, which one might be most exciting to you at the moment. Barb Ellison, what are you thinking?
Right
I see
now,
your wheels turning.
I'm thinking like in the day 3 is going to be amazing. Just because like Barb says, of strategies and tactics, and getting the market, get the marketing out there and having that, because like right now I just finished doing a 10-day social media challenge, and I'm like, oh, I reached out to people that I would never have thought of, because I was part of a challenge. And but it has also given me the core steps like you did. Like you gave me that template, and it was like, oh, and then the 10-day challenge, it was pretty much very similar of the things to do,
Right.
but it's the tracking. And so I think it'll be really cool to work on, your plans and have the basics of the social media and the digital marketing, how to get it all out there so that it all works.
And so day 2 and day 3 are all about building our foundation and understanding all these things. And then day 4, we come back together and we put it all together. What is your overall marketing strategy and tactics that you're going to use? Because what is your sales strategy?
I think for myself, and I know you've seen me do this so often, is we get overwhelmed and there's so much to do. No, you don't have to do everything, but just do something consistently.
And do something.
And do something. Pick the one strategy and then do it consistently. And that's why I think this will just be like the icing on the cake of getting this, and God has perfect timing. Is that all the things that I am hearing right now are all of this, Barbara? This is like up until now, this has all been like mindset and being ready. Within like knowing who my client is, knowing what I want to do, all of those things. But now it is the actual practical. Let's do this.
Barb, I want you to touch on something because you and I have had this conversation many times. And this is, folks, we talked about that you'll be able to get the Barb, yes, Barb Ellison, yes, that you'll be able to get the recordings of this. So you'll have this to play back, even though you're going to be building your plan and your model while you're in here, you're going to be able to purchase the recordings if you want. So Barb, I want you to talk about that from the perspective of the challenges. How many times did you go through a particular challenge that I've offered, and what happened each time? So they won't have that opportunity to continue to go through this week after week. They're going to need those recordings, right? Talk about that, if you would, for a moment.
Oh, just to be able to go back and listen. Like I have all my notes from each one of the boot camps. And every once in a while I get it and go, oh, and like right now here's my little Post-it note of interrupt, engage, educate, and offer.
There you go.
That's my little Post-it note that sits in front of me. And it's like, okay, oh yeah, what am I going to do to interrupt? Like if I'm going to do a Facebook Live, that training, but it took me, like, as you said, I mean, there were times when you would see the light bulb go on and it was like, oh, that's how you do it.
And each time that you took that challenge, you were ready to learn something new, right? You had absorbed a certain amount from the previous time, and now you were ready to incorporate some more. And so you kept coming back to that challenge. I think we did that challenge about 5 or 6 times, and you kept coming back. And every time you told me, oh man, this time I got that.
I got it.
That's why you need the recordings of this, people.
Exactly.
That's why you need the recordings. So that you can listen to it over and over again. And
because as you're ready for something, for me, it's like reading the Bible. I know that I have read the New Testament oodles of times. And yet every once in a while, I'll come to a verse and go, oh, that's what that means. Because now I was ready to hear it.
And
This is
understand
so
that
relevant.
this is a lot of information
It's
Oh,
too-
a
yeah,
lot.
you can't absorb
over
it
the
all.
over the course of a week. There's no way that you're going to retain it all.
It's right,
You
Even though
need
you're
to
creating a
have the
plan as you go
recordings.
along.
right,
Yeah.
What you
right.
I said, even though you're creating a plan as you go along with the level of knowledge you have at
Where
that
you are
moment.
right now,
right.
where
Yeah.
you are right now. Look at
Right.
look at how my plan has progressed
Yeah.
over the years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
From
I
when
think
you,
it's also about having the headspace to
Right.
actually process everything
Yes.
that you are gleaning, and it is
Right.
not possible. Neither is it desirable to actually try and process everything you're gonna gather in these intensive 4 or
Yeah.
5 days
can't
in one
process it
go.
all.
It's
Plus you
just it's just not gonna work. You're not going
Right.
to actually then be able to implement it.
That's
And
what I
by
was just listening.
actually and by having the recordings, it actually also means that you can go back and reference a particular topic
Yep.
as it applies to whatever stage of your journey you're working
Absolutely.
on. You can actually then say, oh, there was a workshop on that, wasn't there? Let me just listen to that. That's one thing.
Right.
Right.
And the other thing that occurs to me is that we all take in information in different ways. Some people are very, very good at taking in information in by hearing.
Right.
And some of us, I'm extremely visual. You know, I can hear people talking a lot of the times. I hear words. It takes me a lot more energy to
Yeah.
process when I'm just hearing. You know, so I'm better actually. So when I go attend in a summit, attend a conference, I always get the recordings. And what I do is that I then transcribe it. I need to see it written down, and actually I will then implement it. And you know, as Barbara was saying, Barbara E, is that actually then I stick.
Oop, we lost your
If we
voice,
lost you,
Brenda.
Brenda, we lost your sound.
I
When
then
you-
stick.
There we go.
So I print everything that I would have then transcribed, and actually there's a program now that can actually transcribe
Oh, yeah,
stuff
Otter.
for you
I
in
use Otter.
writing from recordings. So then I stick that up on my wall. So then I reference that as I go along. So if I'm working on a particular topic, so that the avatar, you know, I can then think, okay, I'm wanting to create a program about, you know, healthcare for men. I wonder, you know, what should my avatar be? And I can then listen to Barbara again and actually think, oh, actually, yes, you know, in this way, in that way. And that's where the recordings also come in, rather
Absolutely.
than trying to think you've got them all and it's in one go. You can have it as a library. And when you've
Right.
got a library in your drawing room, you know, you don't expect to remember everything that is in every book all at once. You
Exactly.
Right.
pick up a book, whether it's War and Peace one day because you want to remind yourself about whatever went on in Russia at that time, or Jane Austen about, you know, persuasion and, you know, whatever it might be. It's got to be relevant to and pertinent to whatever you're working on at that particular time.
And I think it also allows you, if you know you've got the recordings to fall back on, it allows you
Yes.
to relax in the
Yes.
learning process
Right.
Yeah.
and just, you know, take it in and not be stressed about it because you know, I mean, we're going to have activities for you to do in each of these classes. So
Yeah.
we're giving you the audio, the visual, and the kinesthetic learning in every class. So there's going to be
Yeah.
activities for you to do. And I'm really glad you brought that part out, Brenda, because I also am not an auditory learner as much as I'm
Yeah.
visual and kinesthetic. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you are as well. If you're transcribing it, that's
Yes,
that kinesthetic
I am very
part,
much.
and then
Yeah,
you
I'm
got to
very
see
much.
it.
Yeah, I'm not auditory, no, at all.
Yeah.
You know, I used to get that at uni. At that time, I didn't understand the difference, and I would then be meeting with the lecturer afterwards and say, "What did you say when you get that?"
Right.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons we offer that is just to make the learning process easier for you and give you something to take away that you can then go back and listen to it at any time. You will own that recording for life and you can listen to it at any time.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
May I just flag up on something else, just
Sure.
in case some people are just joining us today and went around yesterday. When Regina kindly went through and took you through just now, just a few moments ago, about the different workshops, when Regina got to the contest and talked about our excitement that actually the prize package is now over 34,000. Just in case some of you are sitting there thinking, oh, but what's in it? Yesterday, we did actually go through in tremendous detail about the type of price, the type of prices that are contained in the prize package. So just go back and listen to that. You don't have to worry about it today. Just listen on day one. We've actually got the details in there. Yes, Regina?
Yes, and we could also kind of go through a little bit of that right now, if I can find the right document here. Contest.
While you're looking for that, is anybody in their talk covering mindset?
Oh, the whole first day is mindset.
Yeah, very first day is mindset, nothing else. Yeah.
Nothing else. Yeah.
We were very keen to do that, Barbara,
Yeah.
but you're right to bring it up at the very first day, because we wanted the mindset to be first, because mindset drives everything.
Everything
So people
else.
needed to understand that.
Right.
And so
Yeah,
then
but
day
you're
2
right
and
to
3
bring it
are
up.
building your foundation, and day 4 is how you pull it all together and implement it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we have Emily Schul has put in, this is
She's
an
a
amazing
sweetheart.
prize here. A 4-week intensive one-on-one money coaching session to understand and transform your relationship with money. 4 weeks.
You and I, Regina, could do with that separately.
Yeah. James Lamb has a leading lead magnetizing workshop that he's put in there.
Yeah.
Mitchell Levy, that we talked about a few minutes ago, from Credibility Nation, he has a $1,500 clarity session
Wow.
to help you get clarity on your customer point of pain and other things. Emma Dunlop Walters, who spoke with us yesterday, has a 1-hour marketing consultation and 2 hours of free marketing training.
Oh, wow. I like him.
Mary Nunley, I love Mary's prize, because Mary's going to teach about, and we're going to listen to her just in a few minutes here, but she's going to teach about having your lead magnets be more exciting, be more interactive. Her prize is that they're going to create for that winner a 3-page interactive lead magnet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Did you hear that, folks? Oh, wow.
Oh,
Across
wow.
the board.
Can I be in the contest?
Yeah, absolutely. James
wow.
Sanderson is, and Brenda has to talk about this one, juicing for busy people. Can you tell us a little bit about that one, Brenda?
Again, I did.
Again, because some people may not hear yesterday's.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just a little.
Okay. Juicing for busy people, as the title says, this is about, but it's juicing with a what do I want to say? With a difference. It's not juices as you normally would expect it. This is actually a nutritionally balanced, complete meal that actually is put together by qualified, highly qualified certified nutritionist, and they've been working in the business for 50 years. So what else can I say? That's it.
All right, very good. I'm offering an interview on my podcast, as well as a half-day VIP session.
Woohoo.
We have a $20,000 travel package for
that is my one. That is me. I am just. I wish I wasn't a co-host. I so want that. I need it.
We'll have to figure out a way for you to get that, Brenda. That it's an amazing travel package for 6 people. I think it's 6 days, 7 nights, whatever it is, 6 nights, 7 days. And it's at a 5-star resort, and you have a choice of resorts. We have a consultation from Carol Henderson, who has a company called Life by Design. And one of the things that she does is help people who've experienced traumatic health issues or other kinds of traumas in their life, and helps them move forward on that. Barb Sayers here has a series of 7 emails that she's offering, custom made emails for you. And Jason Tracy, that you'll meet later this week, he's a sales coach, and he's offering 2 hours of private coaching. And then this morning we picked up from Pat Iyer a 1-year membership in her business writing circle. Yeah, to help you with your writing, whether that's your book, your blogs, your posts, your emails, you know, whatever, this business writing circle. And folks, that's not the end of it. That's just all that's on the list at the moment.
Okay, Regina, because I should be on that list too.
Yes, you should, Barb, but I don't, and I know you mentioned that this morning, and I was going to touch base with you. I don't have you on there.
Because I know we talked about it.
So you'll have
to do. I'm going to offer the my pro of the personality pro.
Right.
Of that, and then have a 2-hour session with them to explain how they can use personality in their sales and in their relationships. So it'll be 1 hour on, it'll be on part of it on how it would affect sales and part of it how relationship.
Do you have a value on that off the top of your head, Barb, or you can get that to me later?
Yeah, I think that's probably like $1,000, the line $997. I would think, because the actual program itself is $50, but the 2 hours
but
to
then the
explain
coaching
it all
and
is the coaching and how to put it together. That's
right. So folks, we are now less than $100 under 37,000. 36,924.
Amazing. Have you added yours and mine? I don't think you have.
I don't have yours in here, Brenda. I do have mine, but I don't have yours. Remind me. How
many times, woman, do I need to tell you?
You know, as we said, folks, this is live and real. Tell us what yours is, Brenda. Tell the world.
All of these prizes need to be made available to all of the presenters.
Okay.
I think so too.
That's your beauty. That's your beauty, is it, Barbara? Anyway, my contribution is weight loss made easy, and it's a course. It's a 20-week-long course. That is not right. It's a 22-week, because the work on their own in doing the actual weight loss actions, taking the weight loss actions is 20 weeks, but then they have coaching with me the first week and the last week as a group, and then throughout I also meet with them on a monthly basis. So 20 weeks is 5 months, yes. So I meet with them 4 times, something like that. Yeah, and that is I think as a conservative figure, I would say a grand, probably more. No, actually, no. The course is a grand. I think with my time, $2,000.
All right.
Because I'm doing the coaching, intensive coaching throughout.
So drum roll, please.
Yes.
We are at $38,924 in value so far. And folks, we've got more coming. We've got more coming. Like I said, we're going to hit 50,000. I'm
and you know, Barbara, I doubted Regina when we first started. She said to me, right, our target is 20. And I said, no, please, let's just go for 15. 15 is enough. I think that's quite high enough. I said, you see, I always aim low, and Regina always aims, the sky is the limit.
Yeah,
so she does. I know this. I should know better.
You go for the stars, and then you settle for hitting the moon.
There you go.
Yeah, go.
Awesome.
Not in England. We can't see the blinking stars. It's dark.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's take a break from this part right now, and let's hear Mary Nunley's interview.
Yes, please.
So let me share screen, and we'll get Mary up here. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, we can.
Here we go. So folks, I'm here with Mary Nunley this morning, and I'm excited to introduce you to her. She's one of the presenters / speakers conducting a workshop for us at the business incubator coming up, state corporate rat race. So Mary, we are excited to hear all about you and what you're doing, what you're going to be teaching in this. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey, what's brought you to this place in your life?
Sure, I'm happy to do so. So Regina, for those of you that don't know me, I've known Regina now for almost 2 years, thanks to the pandemic. And I started my career out in the restaurant industry, moved into the training world and did a lot.
Regina, we lost the sound to her.
No sound.
No sound, yeah.
Regina, you're muted.
Yeah, I muted me, not thinking it would take her out. I didn't want my background. So here we go.
Okay.
I'm going to start her up again here. But
Yeah.
live and real,
brought you
folks.
to this place.
In your life.
Sure, I'm happy to do so. So Regina, for those of you that don't know me, I've known Regina now for almost 2 years, thanks to the pandemic. And I started my career out in the restaurant industry, moved into the training world and did a lot of instructor-led face-to-face training. From there, I moved into the corporate and higher education space for online education. And then about 4 years ago, I decided to start my own company with my son, where we focus on interactive.
Brenda?
Is there any way, is that where you can raise the volume a little?
Sure.
I'm missing words.
Okay,
What you're saying, please.
thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me if this is better.
Is gamification
Yes,
and
perfect.
creating
Thank you.
a better learning experience for adult learners in the online space.
Awesome. I love that. You know, gamification is one of those things that has been popping up on my radar for a while, but I haven't really done anything with it. So I'm really excited to have you bringing that to us at this time. What attracted you to this event, Mary? What made you say, yeah, I want to be a part of this?
So I like helping people. I like sharing information and knowledge. And the key thing is I like bursting myths. So many people think like, oh, gamification is points, badges, leaderboards, and it's so much more than that. So many people think, oh, I can't be an entrepreneur, or I can't leave my corporate job. I have that conversation probably once a month with friends that are in the corporate world, because in that corporate environment, you get used to a steady paycheck, you have a routine, and being an entrepreneur seems a little scary. What my counterpoint to that is, and one of the reasons that I was excited to be on this call, is that there's no guarantee that you're going to get to keep your corporate job. I've seen so many friends and colleagues lose their jobs to downsizing, right sizing, company going out of business. And so my thinking is, since there is no guarantee, it's not like when my parents were raising us and it was much more like you worked at the same place.
Right.
Why don't we experience and get those skills and tools that we need to start that entrepreneurial journey? Maybe not full time, but let's start dipping our toe in the pond, because I prefer to be in control of my own destiny as much as possible, instead of letting someone control my destiny.
Right. When you started off in your own business, you obviously worked for others first. How difficult was that for you to figure out everything?
Oh my goodness.
All the pieces, figure out what the pieces of the puzzle were, let alone put them together.
Yeah, so we are still trying to figure out those pieces of the puzzle. And again, you know, that's why this type of event is fantastic, because it's like, here's all the things you need to think about. When I left to start my own business, I was just going to be a freelancer. I wasn't planning to build a company. So it's like, okay, I need to understand taxes, and I need to figure out where to find clients. As I moved from freelancer to more of a actual company, now it's, what are my HR policies? What are my taxes? How do I read my profit and loss statement? How do I find people to work with us? So when you're doing your job somewhere else for someone else, you might be really, really good at that area, but then there's so many other things, and just things that you don't think about, like insurance. You know, you gotta have insurance, and what's the right policy and coverage, and then how do I get the word out about my business? I didn't know anything about marketing. Right. And so these types of events, and especially with the group that you've brought together, Regina, are really powerful for somebody that's thinking about starting that entrepreneurial journey, getting started, or even who's been doing it for a while, because there's always something that changes and there's always something new to learn.
True. And as you say, we don't know coming in. And as a new entrepreneur, we simply don't know what we don't know about entrepreneurship and what all is involved. And so when we don't know it, we don't know where to go to ask the question or even what the question is, right?
Exactly. Yes, you don't know until you're in that situation, and then your accountant's going, "Oh, by the way, here's your $10,000 tax bill," and you're like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah. And I was talking. I did an interview this week with a chamber exec, because this week is National Chamber of Commerce Week as well. And one of the things he was saying about they were helping their membership to get these loans, these PPP loans or whatever, and so the members were bringing them the information for them to complete some of the paperwork for them. And he said he was just totally shocked at the various forms or lack thereof of people submitting their financial data to him. I said, well, at least you're not like the accountant and they didn't bring it to you in a box or a bag. And he said, oh yes, some of them did.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, so learning about how to keep good records and set those records. And then even just from a financing and funding perspective, what's the difference between a loan, a grant, the Small Business Association,
right,
versus a company that's going to charge you a lot of interest on a loan. So it's like,
right,
all of those different things, but it's how do you stay afloat? And how do you prepare for another crisis? Because 2020 isn't a one-off. I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely. And you may or may not know this, but I had a 12 plus year staffing firm that died with the 2008 financial crash. I had 25 employees internally. I had 200 employees placed with clients, and we were out of business overnight pretty much, and it was just, you just never know.
And that's it. So, 2020 was a pandemic, 2008 was a crash.
Right.
We've both lived through a variety of upheavals, recession,
Exactly.
inflation. Just like you have to be prepared. And
Yep,
knowing,
absolutely.
as they used to say, oh my gosh, years ago in the movie Small Soldiers, Big Battles, knowing is half the battle. Or maybe that was G.I. Joe, one of those. But it's like, if you don't know what you don't know, you can't prepare.
Exactly. And like I said, you can't ask the question because you don't know what the question is or who to ask it of. So you mentioned foundation kinds of things, and I'm really excited in this event. We've got the first day is all about mindset, because that needs to come before everything else, right? And then day 2 and 3 are all about foundation, building that solid foundation, and many elements of that over those 2 days. And then finally, day 4, we get into implementation. What's your actual, how are you going to handle your lead generation? What's your strategy going to be? What's the difference between strategies and tactics we talk about in foundation, and then creating yours in there? And I'm so excited that we've built in time for them to work on their plan throughout the event. So every day there's time set aside within the event for them to take what they've learned that day and start to create their plan with it. So
yes, and that is so important, because whether you're in a workshop or taking an online course, having time to implement, or at least put some thoughts to paper.
Yeah.
Because otherwise what happens is you have a great event, you're all excited, and then you get back into the day-to-day and it's like, oh wait, what was that all about?
Yep. And it's either sitting in handwritten notes somewhere, or it's in a document on your computer that you've completely forgotten about and you find years later.
Exactly.
Experience.
So I really love the fact that you've built in that practice time for people.
Plus that we're having workshops, these are hands-on workshops, folks, where you will actually do what they're teaching you. So Mary, talk to us a little bit about some of the things without giving away all the surprises. What are some of the things that they're going to be learning in your class?
So we're going to be focusing on gamification, but really how to apply that to lead magnets.
I can't wait.
And so how to make a more interactive lead magnet. And so
awesome.
It's a strategy and it's a tactic. So it's a strategy in that you need to have a lead magnet or many lead magnets. Right. And if you don't know what a lead magnet is, think of it as your virtual billboard.
Right.
Gamification is taking game-based elements and applying it to your content so that there is a sense of reward. There's a sense of maybe chance. And there's also some surprises built in.
Cool.
And then tactics are really about, now how do I implement this?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's something, you know, that strategies versus tactics is something that a lot of folks don't really understand. And that I find that true even with folks who've been in business for some time for themselves. But it's really important to understand the difference and how one drives the other.
Yes.
And one creates the results for the other.
Exactly. And even when I'm talking with clients, sometimes I have to go, whoa, let me take a pause here. I'm jumping straight into tactics, and we need to talk strategies
We need
first,
to go back
because
and talk strategy. Yeah.
sometimes it's really easy to get excited about the software, or the shiny object, or ooh, look what it can do. And
Exactly.
that's great. However, if you don't have a strategy behind it, what you have is a pretty shiny object.
Yeah. And that's not going to be as shiny in a week or two, and then you're going to go find another shiny object and try it.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
it's going to tarnish as well, because it's not going to produce, because it's not being used inside of a strategy where you know what you're doing and you're measuring it.
That's it. So, you know, we'll talk a little bit about like what's your goals for your lead
Right.
magnet, you know,
Good.
and how you're going to achieve that.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah. So we've really tried to take this right down to the basics of things that you need to know to create a business. And like Mary said, if you're already in business, that doesn't mean that you can't find value here.
Exactly.
I find it very helpful to go back to the basics periodically and make sure you haven't missed something. Make sure that things haven't changed in a way that you need to go back and readdress something. So even if you're not brand new, just coming out of the corporate world, come on in and check us out, because
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of good information here that you can apply to your business. And it's like,
things are changing so fast. Sorry to cut you off.
no,
I mean,
no.
it's like things are going so fast. What I knew
Right.
2 years ago no longer applies today.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
So as you know, we have a contest that we've built into this. So everybody's going to be creating their business model / plan throughout this. But if they'd like to enter the contest, it's an upsell for them. And they can then they can create a proposal then of their business model / plan to present to a judging panel. So it's going to go through a couple of stages of judging. Brenda and I are going to tick all the boxes off to start with and kind of narrow it down some, and then hand that off to our panel of 5 judges. And we have some amazing judges in this panel. I'm so thrilled that everybody said yes, and the panel that we have. What would it be worth? Could you put a price tag? What would it be worth if at the beginning of your entrepreneurial career, you had the opportunity to go through a workshop like this, create your plan, and put it in front of 5 amazing entrepreneurs for them to evaluate and give you feedback on it before you embarked on your plan? What would that be worth to you?
Well, it would be priceless, but if you have to put a dollar amount to it, I would say it's definitely a 6-figure type of experience. Because
Absolutely.
if you just look at the amount of time that each of those 5 judges would probably charge you for a consultation. And we're most likely, when I look back at how much time I've spent with my accountant and with my insurance agent and with my lawyer and with it's not just a 1 hour, oh, here's a list of questions.
Right.
And so I would say definitely it's a 6-figure type of value.
Awesome. I agree completely. And so that takes me to probably our last question, or around our last question. Who knows the way my brain works? We might spiral off in another direction here. Talk to us about the prizes and gifts and things that you are donating, because we know so many of our speakers are donating prizes for 2 different levels of upsells that we have. One is getting all of the recordings of everything that we've done, plus being part of a half-day group VIP session with Brenda and I together. And then our next session is that actually getting into that contest. So you're going to have, no matter whether you enter the contest or not, you're going to be creating your plan throughout. But you have that opportunity to compete. And right now the prizes are over $33,000 in value for that contest, and that's continuing to grow. So and then you have something also for the winner of the contest. Talk to us a little bit about what you are contributing to those gifts and prizes.
Sure. So we're contributing 2 self-paced courses, first of all. One is Gamify Your Lead Magnet, and that is a self-paced course that focuses on really the strategy. What is a lead magnet? What do you want your lead magnet to do? Gathering your assets. And then this is where the instructional designer in me comes out. We also teach you how to storyboard your lead magnet, because if you're
Oh,
building
wonderful.
an interactive lead magnet, your
Right.
audience is going to have to make decisions. So what is
Oh.
a storyboard? How do you use a storyboard? And then
Well, I
there's some
can't wait to get my
bonus,
hands on that.
and then there's some bonus content that just talks about the Octalysis system of gamification. And then
Okay.
in Supercharge Your Lead Magnet, we take it up a level, and I co-teach this with Sharice Alexander, who's a
Oh,
business
wonderful.
networking coach
Yes,
and a
love
lead magnet
Sharice.
guru in her own right. And we look at 3 different styles of lead magnets. We again talk some about strategy, like how do you set your goals? How do you measure
Right.
the success? And then I also go in and show you different things that you can do to quickly gamify your lead magnet, even if you want to stick with a more traditional PDF. So we talk about that. And then we have several bonus items of content, like how to use Google Slides or Google Presenter, how to use Canva, how to use some different
Oh, awesome.
software, so that if you're not familiar with certain softwares, you now have a little screen capture, how to narrated video on, click this button to do this. Here's how you do that. Here's how you do that.
Excellent.
So those are the 2 courses we're offering. And then our grand prize, for lack of a better term, is an interactive 3-page lead magnet that we will build for you. So after
Oh,
you've taken
wonderful.
the courses, or if you don't want to take the courses, we will donate one done for you interactive lead magnet.
That's part, folks, that's part of that $33,000 package that we're building currently. That last piece, that them building that for you, is in there. So you don't want to miss out on the opportunity to get that. That's going to be amazing. And then the first course that you talked about, that's going to be the prize for those who purchase, or the gift for those who purchase the first level, which is the recordings and the VIP session. And then that next one is going to be for those who enter the contest. Tell us about that one again. I want people to really understand what they can get if they enter that contest.
Sure. So the Supercharge Your Lead Magnet course walks through strategy. How do
Okay.
you decide what your goal is for your lead magnet? How do you measure if that lead magnet is successful? And then
Excellent.
tactics, how to add some gamification elements, how to add some interactivity, whether you're doing a PDF, a PowerPoint, or really going all out and doing a really completely interactive lead magnet. And we give you 3 different examples, and we show 3
Awesome.
different types or styles of lead magnets as well, along with some bonus technical content on how to use various softwares.
Excellent. And that's with you and Sharice.
Yes.
Awesome. I imagine that's a dynamic duo. Great combination.
It is. And again, both of these are evergreen courses. They're online. They're 100% asynchronous. So you can do it at your own time. You can revisit it
Excellent.
as often as you like. We've got handouts and all kinds of good stuff in there.
Excellent. Oh, can't wait. Folks, you got to sign up for those. That's all there is to it. Wonderful. Oh, thank you, Mary. Any last thoughts that you have on the event?
So if you haven't registered, sign up. It's well worth the time. And Regina has put together such a dynamic group of presenters and speakers. So I'm really looking forward to joining the crowd next week.
Awesome. And I must say, it's not just me. It is, I have a partner, as we said yesterday, I have a partner in crime on this. Brenda DeBelli from London is my partner in this, and we have been working on this together for 9 months. We feel like we are giving birth finally.
Yay, no, that's amazing.
It's a big baby.
Yes, well, and it's value packed from everything that I've
It
seen so
is.
far. Is going to
so
really
excited.
be an exciting event.
Yeah, we have the opportunity to really impact a lot of lives with it, and that excites me.
I am thrilled. And is registration still open for people?
It is indeed. And actually yesterday, when we had our live cast yesterday, we told them they had to come back today to get the registration link.
Aha, okay.
No, we were not giving it out yesterday. So it will be we will share it today in everything that we do today. So, and it's, you'll be hearing, if you know one of these speakers and you're in their audience, you will be receiving emails from them that will also have registration links for this live cast process that we're doing all of this week, as well as for the event itself, which starts next Tuesday, the 26th, and runs through the 30th. So it's going to be amazing. It's absolutely going to be amazing. Mary, I'm so glad that you're part of it. And I can't wait to sit through your class.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's
Well,
an
Regina-
element of things I've wanted to do and have not gone down that road.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
She's
Thank
great.
you, Mary.
Thank you as always. It's been a pleasure.
Excellent. So can you, let's see, I don't know if you'll be able to join us at all during the week, but we look forward to having you there. We start at 11 a.m. every day, Eastern time, 11 a.m.
Excellent.
Eastern time. So we'll be posting that link again. It's not going to be in this particular Zoom room. We've got a Zoom room set up just for it.
Fantastic.
But anyway, it's in the emails that you have. And
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good event. I'm going to try to pop in at least once besides my session.
awesome. Love it. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you so
Mary.
much.
Have an amazing day.
You as well. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I love her. I absolutely love her. And I like the way that you didn't actually have to ask her to promote the event. Remember yesterday we had to say to people, you know, what would you say to somebody who's watching, who may not have made a decision about this? And she just, I love her, and I'm so looking forward to a program, a workshop. I absolutely love her. She's
It
great.
was an energizing interview to do.
Yeah.
And of course, you all know I get energized when I laugh, which is probably why I
Yes.
laugh all the time.
Yeah.
So
Good to
anyway,
laugh.
yeah, it was a
And good interview, Regina.
was
Good interview.
very
Very good interview.
energizing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah, I can't
Oh,
wait.
sorry.
to see it.
So James is tied up, I'm afraid. I
Okay.
forgot today's Tuesday. He's tied up. He's something
Okay.
that he can't get out of. And he is asking, or rather he's suggesting that I go ahead and share with people what we were
Okay.
going to do.
I think that's wonderful.
Is that all right?
Absolutely. I
Okay.
think that'd be great. So
Should I
let's
do that
finish-
now?
let's just debrief
Finish with
on
Mary.
Mary a little bit here. Of
Sure.
Barb, any comments that you have on Mary's interview and what Mary's bringing to the table?
Oh, I think that's going to be so fun. And just a couple of things that she brought out about that. It's just like I always thought when I would always hear gamification, I thought it was all leaderboards and stuff. So that was a good. I'm excited that I'm going to be able to listen to her.
And
So
you know, I
that'd
think
be
that
very cool.
I'm sorry. I think that also goes back to what we were talking about within her interview is that you don't have to be brand new
Mm-mm.
to get value from this. I'm
Right.
looking forward
Yeah.
to that class. It's
Right.
an area I
Me too.
wanted to learn, and
Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
And to
Yeah.
like for myself, for my own shows, I want to learn. I want to do intros and outros. Well, she's going to teach us how to do that. How to put those things into place.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Barb
That's
Sayers, comments?
It sounded super interesting. I'm very much looking forward to her presentation or her workshop.
And I'm with you on the prize. I want her prize.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're all going for different prizes. You know, that one is, I want that one. I want that one.
But you know, everybody who takes the upsells in the course, everybody who takes those recordings, and everybody who enters the contest will get those first two prizes first two gifts that she talked about, along with everyone else's gifts. And we'll spend some time this week sharing what some of the other gifts are, because
Yeah, we need to do
amazing
that.
collection of
Okay,
gifts.
so
Yeah.
say that again, Regina.
Okay,
We need
so
to do
with
that.
when they purchase the recordings, they're going to get her first thing that she talked about. So her first
Oh.
level prize,
Oh, okay.
or gift rather. And then
Gift,
when they purchase the second level, the contest, they decide to enter the contest, then they're going to get that upgraded level that I had her go back and talk about a second time. And then if they're in the contest, they have the opportunity, if they win that contest, to receive then her bigger prize of the three
Where
page
they then
magnet
create,
done for
yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interactive lead magnet
Yeah.
done for you. Yes, that's a great prize. So
And
yeah.
you're right, I think as the week progresses, we need to share with people a little bit more detail about each of the upsales and
how they
what,
can, and
what
how
it
they can
entails.
upgrade.
And how
So
they
I
get
was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
thinking
how
how,
they get it.
like if people are listening to this right now, how do they upgrade?
Okay, so let me show you real quickly. We'll just kind of walk folks through this because that is really a good question. And I thought I had it on this page. Give me a second here.
Covered it a little less yesterday, but
Yeah.
we need
No, but people, so I mean, I know I'm this way. I'm going to be very transparent, is that sometimes I'll hear something and it's like,
Yeah.
"Gee, what did
Oh,
they say?"
absolutely. No, we
Exactly
need to
what
say it
Brenda
every
just said,
day.
because I don't always
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah, no, we need to say it,
But
say
when I
it
every day.
see it,
Yeah.
but when I see it, it's slightly different.
Yeah. So when they go to the landing page, which shows all the speakers.
Which is
we're
what
talking
brought
about.
me here. So let's
Right.
use me as an example.
Yeah. So
This
you would
brought
come
me to
here and
Okay,
you would click on this sign up
I
now to
signed up.
join the event.
right? I
And
did
you would
that.
put in your name and your email, check the box, register for the event.
Yep.
That is then going to take you to, let me see if I have that one pulled up here. Hang on a second. You can look at that while I find the other one. To right here. Once you do that, it's going to take you to this thank you page. And the thank you page is going to tell you what you're getting. So what you could purchase rather. So you can get the recordings of all the sessions, which also includes that VIP session with Brenda and I. We need to go back and make sure that's in there and that's not.
We do.
We
That's
yeah,
easily done though.
Yeah, we can just, yeah, that can be fixed.
Okay.
So then you can just buy it.
Okay.
You can get the business plan contest. Okay. And again, when we started working on this, we were at $30,000 worth of prizes. We're now at roughly 38, right? 37. So that's $397. Again, get it now. Or you can get the bundle of both and you'll get all of the, all of the prizes for both levels for the $497. So with each level, most of our speakers have donated a prize with each level of purchase here. So you're going to get, we have 17 speakers. So if everyone has a gift in there, which most everyone does, we may have one or, a few that don't, but let's say you had 15, that's 15 different gifts that you're going to get that are business builders.
Wow. Yeah.
And
That's
then
good.
here, same thing. You get a different gift with this. So they've given 2 levels of gifts for these, and then they've given the prize that goes into that grand prize package. So yeah, it takes you right here when you sign up. So it's easy breezy. You don't have to find it. And we'll be sharing that that link throughout.
Okay, so then my next, another question then is, if they have already signed up and did not upgrade,
right?
Can they go back to the same link?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yes, they can still upgrade at any time. And we have it to where they can actually even register all the way up to the last day. But yes, thank you for that. I need to make sure the link to, thank you.
If they've already registered.
Because they may have, they may be on day 2 saying, holy cow, I got to have these recordings and I didn't take them. Yeah, thank you. We'll make sure we've got a link to do that goes directly to that page for them.
Yeah.
Playing the devil's advocate.
Well, and it would be this, and the link that I just took them to there would do that. So when we post this, folks, we'll make sure that the link is in there to register. We'll make sure that that's whether you're seeing some element of this on LinkedIn or on Facebook. I know we're live on Facebook, but I'm also making posts over on LinkedIn about this. But we'll make sure that the link to register is there, as well as the link for if somebody wants to come join us, join us here in the room. We'd love to have you here and visiting with us and asking your questions and getting them answered. So yeah, we'll make sure that anywhere we post that we have those links
Yeah.
And then throughout the event, we'll make sure that there's a link. If you haven't signed up for the upsells and you want to do that, then here's the link. And we'll do that this week too, because somebody might sign up this week today and then say on Friday, oh man, I know I want to get into that contest. And so we want to make sure we have that available for them. We also have set up a Facebook group by the same name. And so we invite all the speakers and the attendees and anybody else who wants to participate with us on this to come into that Facebook group where we can communicate in there, and we can put all those links in there too.
Yeah, we need to do that. I thought I saw it in somewhere. Actually, I saw it one of the posts.
Yeah,
We've
so we'll
done
make
that,
sure
yeah.
that all of that is out there. That was a great question, Barb. Thank you for asking that. Appreciate that. Because I hadn't actually thought about that when we were developing it. But that's
Which is the power of a group.
amen.
Because you can't possibly think of everything.
Yeah. So take heart in that, folks. You can't possibly think of everything, and you
No.
need good people around you to help you.
Yeah.
And that's a part of the beauty of this event is all the good people who are participating and sharing their
Yeah.
hard-earned knowledge with you.
Yeah.
You know, they have worked hard over the years to gain the knowledge. We have a friend, Jason Tracy, who's going to teach the sales part, and
He's amazing.
referencing the statement this morning about, you're either, how is it? You're either learning or winning. Isn't that the way he puts it, Barb? Barb Ellison. I think that's the way he puts it. You're either learning or winning. So
Right.
it's not that we
Yeah.
lose, it's that we learn when things don't go quite the way we expected
Absolutely.
them
You
to
learn
go.
more when you make mistakes, isn't it?
You
Oh,
learn,
yeah.
right. You learn more from
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops, that didn't work. And that's like, well, the old story of Thomas Edison. When somebody asked him, how does it feel that you failed,
Yeah.
with the light bulb? And he said, well, I haven't failed. He said, I just found 10,000 or 1,000 ways that the light bulb didn't work.
It was a lot. I know. It's a big number. I
So-
can't remember.
Yeah. I think the original was 1,000.
Yeah.
But
I think it's
mean,
grown over the years.
It's grown over the years. But it's the absolute truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And so and that's the way we need to look at the things that don't go right in our business, is that they are learning opportunities.
Yeah.
But take advantage when you have one of those learning opportunities, take advantage of the information that's out there to truly learn from it, improve upon it, and go forward in a better way. All right.
Okay. We've been running for 50 minutes, Regina, on the recorded, on the live FB, and we did 30 minutes on the other one.
Well, we started at 10 a.m.
Just pointing out,
So,
just pointing out. Yeah.
So we're
Just need to be aware of time, that's all.
Yeah. I watch it constantly. Thank you, though.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, because
So
we're a
let's
team.
hear.
Okay, so
Let's hear from
may
Brenda
I?
now. Yes.
Well, I'm just going to give the key points.
Okay.
Because even if James was here, we agreed to just say certain things. So we would very much like you to join us on the workshop that we are calling How to Create the Freedom to live the life you desire. So let me repeat that again, because actually James and I spent some time bouncing back ideas to actually capture exactly what it is we want to share with people. And it's about creating freedom to live the life you desire. And each element of that is actually quite key. Because a lot of the times we talk about 6-figure, 7-figure, as if actually creating that amount of money is an end in itself. It's not. So actually, and a lot of people who've left, well, the people that we know, because we've been doing some work with some people who have left the corporate world, what they say they actually value the most about having left the corporate world and are now running their own businesses, working for themselves, being an entrepreneur, is freedom. Freedom to be with family, to spend time with whoever is family to you, your loved ones, and freedom to do things in the way that you want to do them, to do the work that gives you passion and so on. So I wanted just to explain that. So the life you desire is however you conceptualize that life, however, whatever that means for you. So in the workshop, we're going to share with you the 10 best kept secrets of how to do exactly that, what the topic says, 10 best kept secrets. So you get that on the day. You will also hear the second element, you will also hear stories, as in not made up things, but stories as in lived experience from people who've done exactly that, who've created the freedom to live the life they desire. So we'll get some stories. I think we're probably gonna give you a minimum 2, possibly 3, but I want us to keep it to 2. But we will see, because we want also to there will be the workshop is interactive, so there will be time for you to do some work. So we don't want to talk too long. And the third element now escapes my mind. So I've said about the 10 best kept secrets, the 10 best kept secrets, and my mind is just going blank now. 10 best kept secrets. And then, oh yes, the third element is we will share with you a business that, oh no, sorry, okay, I'm going to now in my, I think I got sidetracked. Someone is trying to get hold of me. So this is live again, people.
Yeah.
So yeah, someone is trying to get hold of me, and it's actually important, but this is more important. 10 best kept secrets. You will hear lived experiences by way of stories that will share with you how a couple of people, maybe 3 people, have done exactly that, how they did it, yeah, and the benefits of actually creating the freedom to live the life you desire. And thirdly, an approach at a business that allows you to actually start a business without capital. Because a lot of times what people say is, I would love to start my own business. I'd love to have my own business, but I don't have the money. I don't have the capital. Well, we have got a business that has been in operation for over 30 years in this particular entity, but actually the people have been running the overall company for 50 years. So we're going to share that with you, and then, do what you will with that. You may want us to give you details so that you can, actually join up, or you may want to think about it, but the opportunity is there. So that's what our joint workshop is going to be about.
Awesome. That's a great, I love that you're going to talk about that starting a business without capital and give an example, a real life example.
Concrete example. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I like that 10 best secrets element as well.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you. And the stories are going to be awesome, because, a lot of the times I think we imagine that successful people come from only privileged families or backgrounds and that sort of thing. But actually, they come from all walks of life.
absolutely.
They come from, people who've lived in such abject poverty, who didn't have anything, but actually they became successful. So we want to show that actually it could be your girl next door, your boy next door. It could be somebody just like, they are somebody just like you, not could be, but they're actually somebody just like you.
I like that. And in addition to that thought of, you have to have wealth or not be able to, there's also a question in some people's mind. Well, I don't have a college degree, so how could I do that? I didn't finish high school, so how can I do that?
Yeah.
There are so many highly successful entrepreneurs today who dropped out of high school.
Well, Richard Branson, he wasn't even high school, Regina. Richard Branson dropped out of school. It wasn't even secondary school. I think he barely started secondary school when he dropped out. So, so there are
lots of highly successful people who were considered to be, not going to make it.
Yeah.
So it's not the education, it's not the money. Yes,
No.
you need to get an education in certain things. You need to, but there's those internal smarts, let's call it. There's those
And also
internal
the
factors.
University of Life is a great place to actually learn,
Yes,
the
exactly.
characteristics of being a successful business person. The
Right.
University of Life, it's not just academia that actually
Right.
gives you, the skill set to do
Yeah.
that. And John Nassarov, one of our,
Exactly.
top coaches
He's one of the ones I was
internationally.
thinking of.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
He talks about that openly. It's not
Yeah.
a secret.
I don't have a degree. And I built a $5 million company,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it
I
a
have 4
degree is
degrees
not-
and I've only ever built a 1 point something million. So you see the
And
difference there?
only, she says, folks,
Well-
only. A lot of people would love to say I built a 1.4 million business. That puts you in the top, like 0.25%, Brenda. It's something crazy like that, of the folks that actually build $1 million business.
Oh, really?
It's
I didn't
really a
know that.
very minor percentage. And that's why we're
Oh.
doing this, folks.
Yeah.
You have every opportunity to be as successful as the next person.
Mm.
If you get the
Absolutely.
right tools, the right
Absolutely.
resources. There was a
Yeah.
study done in California a few years ago where they took a group of people, where some of them were on public assistance and other things, but they took a group of people and they gave them the resources they needed. And instead of having like a 95% failure rate, they had an 80% success rate in those businesses.
That says it all, really,
It
doesn't it?
says it all. And
Yeah,
that's
it
what we're
says it
trying
all.
to do, is give
Yeah.
you those tools to help you create a successful business that will
Yeah.
sustain you and your family and be congruent with who you are. Be
Yeah.
synergistic with your values in life.
Mhm.
Create something that adds value to the world. This is a starting place for you. Consider it the
Absolutely.
starting blocks.
We very much believe in this from the get-go. We very much, when we first sat down, Regina, didn't we? We very much said, we want to find a way of getting people to understand that this is doable. All
Right.
you need is conviction and commitment that you can do it. And
Yeah.
and again, quoting John Assaraf, because I did a lot of work under him, and he actually says all it actually takes it's not actually, as Regina says, it's not about academic degrees. And also, the other thing that's a misconception, it's not about talent. People believe that, oh, it's only people who are talented. Actually, there are a lot of people who are talented who are in the gutter. Yeah, it's actually about commitment.
Yeah.
And if you make commitment, and commitment enables you to then do the things that you don't actually want to do, that you
Yeah.
don't necessarily love doing, but
Right.
you know that actually they need doing and you need to
Yeah.
do them. Whereas if you just say, I'm interested, if you're interested in something, it's a choice. You can choose whether to do it or not to do it. But if you make a commitment, non-negotiable.
Yeah, exactly.
Non-negotiable. And my partner here is very good at saying, non-negotiable, Brenda.
Yeah.
This is non-negotiable. Then I know there's no even a point trying to discuss whatever
Yeah.
it is. Get
It's
on with it.
non-negotiable. Yeah.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah. And I mean, having a business is the most wonderful thing, the most frustrating thing,
Yeah.
the most trying thing, the most
exhausting,
thing,
most
the most
exhausting
tiring thing, and the most wonderful thing.
Most wonderful.
It's
Absolutely.
bookended by wonderful,
Absolutely.
with
Yeah.
trials
Most
and-
enjoyable. Most enjoyable too.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
I love doing what I do. I get up every morning at 5 o'clock, unless there's something else going on that I need to get up at 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So, exactly.
It's I have my morning routine. I do certain things every morning, and then one of those is get to the office, and my office is in my home, but I'm in my office every day. I'm working every day, whether it's on something I want to work on or not. It's something that needs to be done in my business. And depending upon where you're at in your business, you've got, you know, the more you grow, the more you can farm those things out that aren't the things you want to do.
Absolutely.
But there will always be some things that you don't want to.
But you see, even the things you farm out, and you say this all the time, even the things you farm out, and I was known for this in local authority, in corporate world rather, is that you still remain responsible because it's your business.
Exactly.
You know, if you delegate, if you contract out, you are still responsible. Therefore, it's your commitment, is you making sure that those things are done. I just sorry for interrupting you earlier. What I because you were saying something really important, but you kind of skirted over it, and I think
okay,
it's really important. It's really important for people to understand when you say and because I know, and because I do something similar. When you say when I get up in the morning, when I finish doing the things I need to do, I think it's important to know that those things are to do with your self-care.
They are.
Because again, it's so important for people to know, Regina, that self-care is not an afterthought. For you, as it is for me, is actually integral to who we are as business people, to how we become successful. It's because we also take care of ourselves. So first thing in the morning, we have to say affirmations, stretch, prayer, read the Bible, write in our journals, you know, whatever of all those things, or some of them, you know, whatever it might be, but you're taking care of your internal world, of who you are as a person before you actually get to being a business person.
Yeah. So my first of the morning routine deals with both my spiritual development and my self-care.
Yes.
Yeah. Then we go into the business world.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Lots
I
of good
feel
stuff
so inspired. I feel that there's been so much being said by different people. The people who joined us today, the two Barbaras, and there Mary Nunnery. I can't wait to actually participate in a workshop, because I think I am going to learn so much. And it was continuous learning, ongoing learning, continuous development is so important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What an inspiring day. Yeah, it's been good.
Yes, it has.
What do you think? Yeah.
Oh, it's been great. And I think about the classes, and Barb Ellison's a great example of, and I asked her about this. Well, two things I want to talk about. One is that we have not prepped anybody in terms of asking them the question about
that's important.
Worth.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that.
This at this stage of your journey, and to be able to participate in this contest and have these judges give you their feedback on your plan. We've not prepped anybody for that question.
Well, we haven't prepped them, but any questions? Any questions?
Well, I have given them a kind of a flow. They wanted to know what kinds, but that question is not on the list at all.
I haven't done that with the people I've brought. People I've brought along, I haven't told them any questions.
Well, and if they need them, we can give them that. But they've wanted to know kind of what to expect. And I said, we're just going to talk about your journey. We're going to talk, those kinds of things. But I've not asked anybody. And to every individual we've asked that question, their answer has been the same word. Say it together, Brenda. Priceless.
Priceless. I mean, one person did add invaluable. They said invaluable and priceless, which actually invaluable is the same meaning as priceless. But it's just, we couldn't believe it. We could not, because this is what we've known and believed. And then to have one after the other of
every person we've asked. Yeah.
Mary Nunnery, like that. Every one of them, just absolutely.
Yep.
Amazing. Amazing.
And then I wanted to come back to Barb Ellison for a minute, because there's a really, I want people to understand what we were trying to say there. And that is, so I ran this challenge, a 5-day challenge, and I would run it every couple of months. And I would encourage people to take it over and over again, because you're going to pick up something that you didn't get the first time, or you're at a different place of learning, so you're going to hear it differently, or I'm at a different place of learning, so I'm going to present it differently.
Yeah.
And Barb went through that class, that challenge, at least 5 times. And every time she would say, oh, wow, I didn't hear that the first time. I didn't hear that the third time. I didn't hear that until the fifth time when I was ready to hear it.
Yeah, you have to be.
And
ready
that's
to
why
do
it's
something.
so important that people take advantage of getting the recordings.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's just an incredible benefit to you to be able to go back and listen to it 100 times if you need to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whatever you need to, because you're not going to absorb it all in this 5-day
No.
event.
Or
You
process
just
it
can't.
or pick
Or
up
process it
everything.
all. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Not
so
possible.
you'll absorb what you can, and
Mm.
then get those recordings so you can listen to it again, absorb a little more, grow, implement, go back and listen again, absorb a little more, grow, implement, make it a process, a continual process until you've gotten all of that mastered into your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Yeah,
Very good.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I think it's really important that you clarify that about, that question, the last one in particular, because I think that being the human beings that we are, there would have been some cynics saying, oh, okay, so they've been primed.
Right.
Look at the way they're all going, using even the same word.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a prize for us.
Yeah.
Surprise.
They had no idea I was going to ask it. And the truth of the matter is, until yesterday, I had no idea I was going to ask it. When I did the interviews yesterday, it just came out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I was
so
surprised that you asked
question.
that, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was interested.
Oh, that's a good question. We should ask that of everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
And it has been just a pleasant surprise to hear everybody say that it would be priceless to have, because the reason it's priceless is because you cut years off of your learning journey. When these folks who are highly successful take a look at your plan and give you feedback on it,
Absolutely.
you act on that feedback, you have now cut off years of that learning process that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And you get to that winning process much faster.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Thrilled to have the judges that we have.
Less scarred by the journey, because it isn't just the time you're going to save on. You save on all the grief, and because, as we said, said all along, the journey is not a flat, straightforward one.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's very much a roller coaster. And
hills and valleys.
Exactly, absolutely. And not everybody can actually cope with all of that. So, these amazing, generous people, kind and generous, they are saving you all of that. It's just, I said to Regina, it's a pity. It's a pity that we didn't have somebody else do this for us. Before we, certainly for me, before I started, I would have been so welcoming of it. But
I would like to give credit to our speakers here as well in this conversation.
Yes, of course.
Every single one of these speakers, folks, is doing this for free. They're not charging. We're not paying them to speak to you.
Absolutely.
We're not paying them to speak to you. They're giving of their time because they recognize the value of the learning that can take place for you and the success that you can create, because they all care deeply about the success of others and about making that impact in the world. So with that, I think we're about ready to wrap up today's session. We're a little bit early, but that's okay. It's been a great session. I'm so glad we had Mary's interview, and grateful that Barb joined us today.
That is
two Barbs.
for the UK people. That is Barbara and Barbara E and Barbara, and who's the other?
Barbara Sayers and Barbara
Sayers,
Ellison.
of course. Barbara S. Yes, sorry, I cannot forget Sayers.
So I typically call, when I have the two of them in the same space, I call Barbara Ellison just Barbie.
Okay.
Little play on the word there for Barbie. So,
okay,
Brenda, any last minute comments that you want to make before we sign off today?
Well, just to underline thank you to everybody, particularly the people who joined us today, but also to encourage those of you who might pick up this recording in FB, that you join us tomorrow, or Thursday or Friday. Really, anytime this week, join us during the live, or join or watch the recordings. But please join us. We
And if you have
really
comments or
welcome. The more the
questions-
merrier. The more the
Yes.
merrier.
And if you're looking at this later and you've got comments or questions, put them in the comments wherever you are, and we'll answer them.
We will
Okay?
answer them. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We'll answer them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yay.
awesome. Well,
Yeah.
we've enjoyed being here again, and we look forward to being here tomorrow and seeing who's going to join us tomorrow.
Of
How this
course.
is
Yeah.
gonna go.
Indeed.
So, all right, everyone, have an amazing day. And
Have an amazing evening. Those of you who are in the evening time. And
Yes.
we will see you tomorrow.
all right. Bye for now.
Bye for now.